Hello, dear students. Welcome and very good morning to you all in the biology first paper class. And we already discussed the bacteria and virus, both the very important two topics from this chapter. And this chapter is very vast, you know that, about virus, about bacteria. Then after another important topics, that is the malaria parasite. So we will go through the malaria parasite today. Malaria parasite. There is something to know about malaria parasite because it is a different thing for your side. You didn't heard the name yet also, or that one. In ancient time, there is unique periodic fever. Unique periodic fever. A fever termed as the unique periodic fever. Why it is termed likely that? Because in a season, likely that you can think about now when before corona pandemic, it was in the dengue fever, and not for all the year. A time, a season, rainy season and summer, in between this interval time, the dengue is actually spreading much in our country. That means in a time. Then after a couple of months, it will gone. It will be go out, and then come to the another disease, or likely that it has happened in our country, in our perspective, and in the recent days we can see about that. In ancient time, unit periodic fever. That periodic time, after time, a fever is attacked or struck by the people cannot think about what type of fever it is, and mass devastating. On that time, the people died and no treatment properly, likely that. In very previous time, it was named as the unique periodic fever. That is not actually come after then. It is termed then after the marsh fever. Marsh fever. Marsh fever means inflamed fever. Means like that the inflammation inside the heart or stomach and the body muscle is not working well. Likely that the marsh fever, unit periodic fever, termed then after the marsh fever, and someone say it is also Roman fever. Termed as the Roman fever, and the devastating period coming on then after it is going on through. I just come from beginning of the malaria parasite. Then torti, since Roman means you know about that this term come from the Italian. So the malaria parasite, and the term the malaria is used in the Italy very first time, and scientist Torti in 1753 used the two word, likely that mal and aria. Mal and aria. This is the Italian word, two word to adjoin, mal aria. Mal is the pollutant in normal sense, pollutant, and aria is the air. That means through air, the pollutant can stuck and responsible for the fever is normally then after term to that malaria. Malaria, Italian term to use in the first time after then. And Charles Leveron then after Charles Leveron in 1880 he find out and invented the malaria parasite. invented malaria parasite in RBC. After then long time, it is the very first time the term with the Roman fever, Marsh fever, or unit periodic fever we can say termed as the this is terming as the malaria, Italian word to adjoin the pollutant air. That means any people going through the air polluted area and can stuck by this fever and disease we can say. Charles Lever in 1880 invented this parasite existence inside the RBC. Okay, then after it is termed as the Anopheles mosquito. Anopheles mosquito carry these germs. Likely to have the Aedes dengue fever, Anopheles malaria fever. So finally find out that who is the carrier of these germs, of this parasite. Anopheles mosquito, termed about the carry out on that one. So finally we got some few idea, but it can be clear to us about the very first time it was known as the unit periodic fever, and as like as any month of each and every year termed. So the periodic fever is known as that. Then after termed as the Marsh fever, inflamed, likely that the very uncomfortable situation passing, Roman fever term. Then the malaria is the Italian word adjoining, and find out the what termed and coined the term malaria in 1750. Torty pollutant air can be responsible. Charles Lever in 1880 invented the malaria parasite in RBC, and finally it is termed as the Anopheles mosquito can carry these germs. Now we will go through the classification of the malaria parasite. Classification, let's go to know about that. Classification. This classification given by the Levin et al. And what is the meaning of the et al? That means with his colleagues. In biological term it is called et al. Et al means colleagues, with some of the collaborators working with them. And it is given 2 marks question can asking for write the classification or mention the classification of malaria parasite. It is the Protista, kingdom Protista, then subkingdom Protozoa, subkingdom Protozoa, then class Sporozoa, or we can say phylum at first. Phylum Epicomplexa, then the class Sporozoa, then order is Hemosporidia, spelling to see here, Hemosporidia, and family Plasmodidae, genus Plasmodium, and species, many of them, but basic common species is the Plasmodium vivax. Some of the species also in there, Plasmodium vivax, Plasmodium ovale, then Plasmodium malariae. Likely that many of the species, I just write 3 species is commonly used in that case. So just for writing this one, you can get the 2 marks. It can be asking for 2 marks. What is or mention the classification of malaria parasite. So who gave the malaria parasite classification? Levin et al. And its kingdom is Protista, subkingdom Protozoa, phylum Epicomplexa, class Sporozoa, order Hemosporidia, family Plasmodidae, genus Plasmodium, species Plasmodium vivax, Plasmodium ovale, Plasmodium malariae. So if you mention this one only just following that way and remember that one, you can asking for getting from 2 marks from the teacher. Okay, so just for having the classification only mentioning this one, 2 marks. No need to write many of the other explanation, description, no need about to that. Only you can go through on there. The kingdom Protista, subkingdom Protozoa, phylum Epicomplexa, class Sporozoa, order Hemosporidae, family Plasmodidae, genus Plasmodium, species Plasmodium vivax, Plasmodium ovale, and Plasmodium malariae. You can write only 1 also here. No need to write 3. I just give the 3 common species. Excuse me. So this is the classification of malaria parasite, and here the common parasite, malaria parasite, and their nature. Now we will go through another chart that is very important for MCQ types of question about or likely to have asking about on there. You can go through a list to make this one this way. The species to mention in there, species, disease name and nature. Species, malaria parasite in there, malaria parasite, then disease and nature of fever, So what way we can go through? First one, very first one is Plasmodium vivax. Plasmodium, very important for MCQ types of or SQ types of question. Benign tertian malaria, and after 48 hours, you can struck by the fever. And then number 2, Plasmodium malariae. I will make you mind once again, just for copy and make sure the chart in your copy. Then I will make you understand once again what is happening and what the list actually mentioning for and which way the question asking for. Quartan malaria, and after 72 hours. Okay, Plasmodium ovale, it is temperate Tertian malaria, temperate Tertian malaria, and after 48 hours, the fever can be stuck on. Number 4, Plasmodium falciparum. Plasmodium falciparum. So this one is malignant Tertian malaria, Tertian malaria, and after 36 to 40 hours. Okay, this is the list. The question asking in which way? Already we have given and know the name of the malaria parasite and their species with their scientific name. I have mentioned in there. Plasmodium vivax, Plasmodium malariae, Plasmodium ovale, Plasmodium falciparum. These 4 species are common for malaria disease. And what type of disease? When any people is struck by the Plasmodium vivax, they are attacked after 48 hours. Today, Anopheles mosquito bite and the parasite carried the Plasmodium vivax, these germs. But you feel well. After 48 hours, you are getting struck by the fever. 48 hours means 2 days. After 2 days, struck by that one, and that time, if finding in your blood that it is Plasmodium vivax is there in the RBC, Plasmodium vivax likely to have on there, that times you are termed as by the doctor's treatment and medical science say that you are struck by the disease benign Tertian malaria. Your malaria, this is the malaria disease, different malaria disease by different germs of malaria parasite, different categories, which one is struck and how many times is take over to take the fever, and what type of disease you can struck by on that specific attack by the specific parasite. If it is the Plasmodium malariae, that times doctors say please ensure your blood test and finding that in your RBC that is the Plasmodium malariae is the parasite, and germs live on there and finding the disease name quartan malaria. So it is after 72 hours, that means 3 days. After 3 days, if you are struck or bite by the Anopheles mosquito, then after 3 days you will be struck by the fever, and then after blood test it is finding the germ and quartan malaria is termed as the fever, you are struck by that one. Same way, Plasmodium ovale temperate Tertian malaria, after 48 hours the fever can be stuck on there. Plasmodium falciparum malignant Tertian malaria, after 36 to 48 hours. So all of the category, we don't know, we know whatever we know in previous time, we can say only one malaria is a disease, but different germs also in category on there, and different types of germs attack when there, the disease will be changed on there, and the fever attack by how many hours. Anyway the question asking for MCQ, quartan malaria is responsible for which germs? Plasmodium malariae. Temperate Tertian malaria, Plasmodium ovale. So likely that, or Plasmodium vivax is responsible for which disease, or after how many hours when the Plasmodium falciparum found in the RBC or struck or carried out by the Anopheles mosquito to your RBC. Anyway the question can asking for. So this list is very important for your MCQ types of or SQ types of question. Okay, then the symptom of the disease, we'll go through on there. The sequential study, I always love to give you and taught you the sequential study. If there is the sequential study, then it will be a good asset and supportive hand note. your hand note. It is made for your hand note when you will write in your copy in the single biology first paper copy. After the ending of the year, you see that each and every chapter having a nice note for you. Malaria symptoms. Symptoms. Some symptoms can find out in which way. That was the headache is the common for the different disease, the vomiting feelings. Common for different disease also, but this is also likely that in there. Then muscular pain in there, feeling appetite, then constipation, then feeling cold, and the fever with shaking. Then temperature, your normal body temperature on that time, it is 104 degrees Fahrenheit to 106 degree Fahrenheit. It is very high fever. Okay. After few hours, the fever gone for some time. For some time with sweating, this one, and then 3 stages to follow, 3 stages to overcome in this way. Likely that cold stage, 20 minutes to 1 hour, then warm stage, it is 2 to 4 hours, 2 to 4 hours, then sweating stage, 2 to 3 hours. Okay. Then also some points or symptoms we can write here. Fever comes at 2 to 3 days intervals also. This is also having, and up to 6 months. Very dangerous time, a very dangerous situation to fall on there. Anemia can also found on there. Anemia, I write about that only. And liver and spleen swell up. Liver and spleen swell up. I write at a time all of them, all of the symptoms. The malaria symptoms, it is the very prominent. It was, you cannot think about the devastating part of the disease likely that in previous time. Nowadays it is controlled by different invention of different medicine and medical science to improve on there. But basically it was very devastating and drastic damage on to find out about the peoples, and the rate is very death rate is very high on the time. And here find out the headache is the common of many, but this is also a symptom of this one, the vomiting feelings on their muscular pain. It is also common, very important, that you feel that your body is full of pain where you touch the muscle is pain. So it is one of the prominent symptoms for malaria disease. And feeling appetite, you have lots of thing around you, you are very hungry but you cannot take the food properly, feeling appetite. Constipation, you cannot stand sitting well and in the normal way, so lots of problem can be created on that time. The constipation is likely that I feel the stool is not properly out and the food is not digested properly. There is no, many of the problem can create the constipation. Feeling cold and fever with shaking, yes, when you feel cold on there and you feel very cold and fever with shaking, just jerking on there. Temperature 104 to 106, unbelievable. You know that after 108 degree Fahrenheit, if any people goes there, he will be out of the sense. But here the temperature will be at 104 to 106 degree Fahrenheit. It is very high, very high. And after a few hours, the fever gone. For sometimes with sweating, you feel that after, without any medicine or likely that anything to do, but after a few hours and the sweating, and you feel that, oh, now I'm feeling well. But after then, once again it can come on in the afternoon, in the mid-noon, or at night again. Not for gone long time, just a time interval after then. 3 stages to find out about the malaria symptom to get it on that. The cold stage, 20 minutes to 1 hour, I'm feeling much cold. Then after warm stage, 2 to 4 hours, you feel much hot in your body. And then after sweating 2 to 3 hours, the continuously sweating and your fever is gone out, likely that. So very difficult and different fever and disease like that. And fever comes at 2 to 3 days interval. Today, suppose today your fever is okay, well and fine, gone today, and you feel that now you are feeling well and you overcome that fever. What the fever you don't know yet, but 2 days again same sequence, and it will be gone up to the 6 month. Anemia, the since they like to have finding in the RBC, so they just capture the blood RBC. So why what is it is find on there on that case, and the blood since the RBC, you know that the hemoglobin to carry out, and the blood color is the red on their red blood cell, we can say, not cell, actually corpuscle, we can say red blood corpuscles on the time feeling some blood shortage, and the problem created in the anemia, since you were stuck by the malaria disease and also having the anemia disease. And liver and spleen swell up, they like to attack not only for one sided the red blood corpuscle, they spread it in the body, and specifically they live in the liver and also in the spleen and getting swell up. And doctor when test and check up, they find out the malaria disease. Very important thing we can got out on there. And there is the very important another topics also, the life cycle of the malaria parasite, very wanted, and you know that more than important than the virus topics and bacteria. Many of the important topics we already discussed there, many of the important, but beside them, more than malaria parasite, the life cycle of the malaria parasite are very and very important for CQ based question. So we will start today and we will discuss in details in the next class, since we have not much time in our hand today. Okay, so we will start about the life cycle of malaria parasite. life cycle of malaria parasite. Very important, these topics, malaria parasite and specifically plasmodium. Sometimes it can be asking for with mentioning the name, that plasmodium vivax life cycle, and it is so big, and in total their life cycle is totally different. Think about yet in before that life cycle is likely that inside the mosquito and inside the human beings, their life cycle is vice versa to go on in two stages. But we will go through a simple way and I will make you understand everything in there. Okay. We know that about the life cycle. If we tell about any living things after born, any living things after born or after birth, we can found the sequential growth in there. Then development, we can find out the development in there. Yes, then the reproduction, many of the things we can find out about them, but these are the prominent and common. We can see reproduction. Okay, then completion of life in the sequential way. Any living things after birth, they have the sequential growth. Yes, we can grow. Whatever you are in the very after birth, and then after now your stage, you can see the growth is of course be there if it is the living things. Then development, what you think in class 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, now your thinking is much mature and just spreading and the branches of your knowledge. So the development in there. Reproduction, of course, one day after married, you will also reproduce your own child, or likely that, and completion of life. And then it can also the life completion life before the after then the reproduction, your new generation can also follow your life cycle likely to have. So this is a life cycle. Any living things after birth, sequential growth, development, reproduction, completion of life is totally termed as the life cycle of any living things. And here in case of the plasmodium vivax, complete its life cycle, in the host of man and mosquito. This is the very important thing. Their life cycle is not completed in case of inside of the man. Their life cycle in the host of mosquito, the germ inside the mosquito, and inside the human beings body. These two, how their life cycle to be completed on there, that is the question, and that is the topics, is wanted topics for us. We will discuss in the next class. And the plasmodium vivax, of course, will ensure our life cycle in one stage, one way, but they complete, this germ complete the life cycle half in the man and half in the mosquito. In which way, that is the important topics is waiting for us. So time is already ended up, and very 30 seconds is left for today's class. So I hope so you understood the lesson what we discussed today. Don't miss any single class. So the upcoming class is more important to you also. Today, how many students in the Zoom? 18 students. Okay, the number is increased. Very good. Everyone stay safe, stay at home, and that's all about today. Allah Hafiz.